Welcome to These Are the Blades of Our Lives, the figure skating show where I talk to you about figure skating like it is drama for our mamas. Everyone, I am in Puerto Rico right now for a conference, so this is going to be a very, very short recap video about what went down at the 2025 Canadian Skate Canada. I have a lot of feelings, but I don't have a lot of time. So you guys are going to be spared most of my feelings in this video. But what I would like to take a moment to say is that I am amazed by the sportsmanship of the ice dancers. That is next level sportsmanship for the entire ice dance community to collectively come together and decide that they want to give Guillaume Cizeron a second gold medal. Like, Guillaume Cizeron must be the nicest guy in the world for all of these ice dance group who have been fighting for years to all of a sudden collectively get together and say, you know what, Guillaume? You are so nice. We like you so much. We're not going to put up a fight for this gold medal. Here you go. It's yours. And then Laurence Fournier-Boudry is like, oh my God, you like him so much. Thank you for the gold medal. We'll take it. Because that's what I feel is going on with ice dance. It's a collective, let's just give the gold medal to Laurence and Guillaume. But before I get into the ice dance, let's go into some other disciplines that were much more pleasant for me to watch. So I'm going to start off with pairs. I was so incredibly happy with pairs. I was very emotionally invested in pairs. Two of my favorite pairs were competing here, and I would have been happy with whichever one won, and I am happy with the winner here. So the winner here was Diana Stiletto-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps. In second place was Minerva Fabienne Hayes and Nikita Volodin. In third place, to my shock and amazement, was Ellie Khan and Danny O'Shea. In fourth place was Leah Pereira and Trent Machad. In fifth place was Kellyanne Lauren and Lucas Ethier. In sixth place was Anastasia Van Pinlaw and Luke Digby. In seventh place was Oksana Volamos and Tim Bovart. And then in eighth place was Ulia Chechatina and Micah Wozniak. I like to say that Ulia and Micah have made a lot of improvement from last season. I do think this pair matches so well with each other. They have beautiful line. They look so elegant. Yeah, they don't have the same element and technical level as some of the other pairs, but there's something about this pair that I really, really like, that it's not quite quantifiable yet. And then Oksana and Tom, that twist is ginormous. They were amazing in the short program, cleanest I've ever seen them. Unfortunately, this is a relatively new pair. They don't have the experience or the stamina to really pull off a long program yet. And the packaging is a little rough. They're a little young. They're still coming off that juniorish feel. But because of the incredibleness of that twist, I'm so invested in this pair and hoping that they could get their other elements to match so that we could really see something amazing. Kellyanne and Lucas, they were okay. Honestly, I've said before, this pair, they really need to find a packaging that works for them, and they don't have any wow elements. For me, they're just an okay pair. Leah and Trent had an amazing short program. I was blown away by their short program. It was so fabulous. They're trying this sexy, young, fresh vibe, and it works for them because you could tell that they probably genuinely like each other. So that's why this concept works for them. She looks fabulous. He looks happy. It looks like it really works for them. And then we got to the long program, and I don't know if it's because they were so close to that medal that it got to them, or if it's because they had to go right after Ellie and Danny, who themselves had such a moment that it just got in their head, and it was so sad to see everything just fall apart for them in the long program. I hope they learn from this and then they come back at their next event even better. And then Ellie and Danny, holy moly, what has gotten into this pair? Side by side jumps landed cleanly. I am flabbergasted. I am so incredibly happy for them. Danny, was skating injured all last season. They've gone through surgeries. They're now trying to get back. And to have them come and compete as well as they did here. And this is a pair that I'm always talking about how beautiful their lifts are, how beautiful the in-between skating is. But you can only fully appreciate that when they skate clean. And they skated clean here. And it was a moment because they're such beautiful skaters. So it was amazing to see. Then Minerva and Nikita probably has my favorite short program for the pairs this season. And I do not understand why the judges refuse to go with them. I don't understand why the judges are burying them in the short program, why they're not getting the PCS scores that this wonderful program obviously deserve. Unfortunately, they lost it in the long program. He landed the jump and then he sort of just caught the edge of his blade and had a freak fall. And then Minerva went down on a throw, which we hardly ever see them do. But as bad as this was, well, it wasn't bad because they still ended up with a silver medal. But as bad as this was, I'm okay with this because this is the pair that usually makes their mistake at the end of the season. So if they need to make mistakes at the beginning of the season so that they can build up and not make mistakes at the end of the season, I am perfectly okay with that. And our winners here was, of course, Deanna and Max. I'm still not okay with that backflip. It still scares me. I'm like, no, let's save your hip, your back for the Olympics. But she does it with such conviction. That short program works for them. It's powerful. You could tell she attacks everything. I do feel like, given time, their long program can also be an Olympic moment. I think they're still a little tentative. I think my favorite part of the whole thing was when Deanna was like, that damn sow. And I was like, yes, Deanna, get that sow, girl, get it. But I felt like they're on the right track to get where they need to be at the Olympic. Again, they don't need to be perfect here, but I do feel like the program is building in the right direction. I still want them to go back to doing Wale Oxygen, but that's just a personal preference. Then men here was amazing. What were they feeding the men in Canada in that short program? I would have to say this was one of the cleanest short program that I've seen from the men in such an incredibly long time, and it was just fabulous to see. So the winner here, of course, to no one's surprise, was Ilya Malinin. And second place was Alexander Selevko. Yes! And third place was Kyle Mura. Oh, thank you, Lord. Fourth place was Kazuki Tomoto. Fifth place, Nika Igatse. Sixth place was Nikolai Momola. Seventh place was Roman Sadowski. Eighth place was Steven Gugalev. Ninth place was Tomoki Hiwatashi. 10th place was Kevin Amos. 11th place was Vladimir Samalov. And then 12th place was Alexka Raki. I really have to take a moment to say how much I appreciate Alexka's choice of music. It's definitely something that I've never heard from figure skaters before, especially the long program music. It's so much fun. It's so catchy without being redundant. I really feel like this young skater, yes, technically he's struggling a little. I still think he's probably growing, but he definitely has a unique taste, or whoever's packaging him has a unique and interesting taste, and I always love when skaters gives me something unique and interesting. Vladimir didn't really make much of an impression on me. Definitely a jump type of skater. Kevin, oh my God, that short program was fabulous, even without a quad. The just the level of his connection to the music, to the ice, his performance, his artistry is just so amazing. And he was giving us Gaga to the max. And you could tell when he finally gets the quads together, this is going to be an amazing program. The long program, the Bolero, not quite what we wanted to see, but what we did see was a Kevin smiling after the program, was a Kevin not having a complete meltdown in the kiss and cry. And for me, that's worth so much more than any quad, than any medals. Just having him complete and in one piece is amazing. Tomoki, I think he's still making that case for him for that third spot in the US men. Yes, he didn't score great here, and he wasn't very high, being only in ninth place. But at the same time, he didn't make any major horrible mistakes either in the short and or in the free. And that to me is the consistency that America is probably looking for, to make sure that all three of their men make it into the long program. Steven had a fabulous short program, the best short program I've seen him skate. And you could tell after he landed all of his jumps, he just felt free and he was able to skate that program. The long didn't quite go his way, but again, this is a skater who's making his way back. Roman, oh, that short program was almost perfect. Almost perfect. We're gonna get it perfect one day. There is so much that I love about Roman, his connection to the music, his presentation, his posture, his spins. There's just so much about Roman that's wonderful. We just need to get those jumps clean and consistent. Poor Nikolai. That Italian men battle is going to be so rough, because it obviously appears that the Italian Federation is throwing everything they have behind Daniel Grasso, which means all the other Italian men will be fighting for that other spot, for the two spot that they do have. And at first I thought Nikolai was the front runner for that spot, but he is just struggling so much with the jumps. But I adore his program. He is giving you so much divolicious face in that short program. And I love me a good Devo, especially one who's dying on the ice. You could tell he has a sense of the music. He really understands the music, and he really gives you everything that he's capable of. And I just find that to be amazing for such a young skater. And he's very tall, very lengthy, and I just think he makes beautiful lines on the ice. Nika Igatse, the only thing I took away from his skating was that having Ekaterina and Benoit Richard in one frame is scary. I might be the only one who's scared, but I am terrified by that particular combination in one frame. Nika is a jumper, and when he jumps is good, and when he doesn't jump, then there's nothing else there. Kazuki Tomono. Oh my God, Kazuki is so lucky. He definitely needs to be sending those tech callers Christmas cards, because those jumps were shaky at best. But even with those jumps being shaky, I love him so much. That short program is fabulous. He does what no one else can, which is to be so uniquely on tune to every beat. The long program I find it a little one tone, but it's still beautiful, and he delivers it beautiful. All I ask from Kazuki Tomono is 2 clean programs. They don't even have to be at the same competition. Give me 1 clean free and 1 clean short, 1 clean long and 1 clean short for the season, and I think I'll be happy. Kao Mura, I was just saying how much I like his 2 programs this season. And then he went and he changed the programs. And I guess these programs are fine, but what I'm really happy to see is that he's making steady progress. I feel like coming back from injury, he was struggling so much, and it's so good to see him making steady progress. Getting on the podium here definitely helps him in that battle for that Olympic spot that he's going to be facing from his other Japanese male competitors. For me, the man of the event, the man of the night was none other than Alexander Selevsko. I have said how much I adore his Prince program, from the packaging to the delivering to the movement. He is completely in his Prince era, and he is smelksy, not sexy, but smeksy. He is giving you everything and more, and I am here for it. Absolutely one of my favorite program from the men this season, maybe one of my favorite programs, period. He was so incredible in that short program, and I did not feel he deserved to be in third place. I, I was there with Chris ranting as well. And then he came back in the long program. The long program, of course, cannot compare to a Prince program, but it's still a very good program. And he just performed it very nicely. And it was so great to see him winning the first Grand Prix medal for his country. I love seeing things like this. He is absolutely fabulous. This is a skater that I like. I look forward to see what he's going to bring, because he always brings something interesting and entertaining. And then, of course, Ilya winning here, I don't think anyone doubted. He is technically in a league of his own. There is nothing you could take away from him. He makes these jumps look like they're nothing. He makes all of his jumps look like they're triple, which is an incredible gift. He is incredibly technically gifted. And while his programs are not my cup of tea, what I will always give to Ilya is that he is fully committed to his vision. For me, there's not much to the program, but he is selling it to a level that almost makes me a believer, because he believes in both of these programs so much. And I can respect that, because this is his art form. This is how he's choosing to present it. And he's presenting it with full commitment. And I appreciate that from him. And then the ice dance. As you guys know, I went full rant last week, and my only remaining hope was Piper and Paul. That hope got flushed down a Puerto Rican toilet. So there is no more hope. Congratulations, Laurence Fournier-Boudry. Congratulations, Guillaume Cizeron. Go ahead and collect your medal in Milan, because your competitors collectively decided you should be awarded that medal. So anyways, the winner here by a tiny margin, I can't even say as to be expected, was Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier. In second place was Allison Reed and Salus Emboulist-Vilis. And third place was Marjorie Lajoie and Zachary Laga. And fourth place was Christina Carrera and Anthony Podomarenko. And fifth place was Katerina Maskova and Daniel Masek. And sixth place was Hannah Len and Ye Kwan. And seventh place was Marie-Gide Laurent and Romain Laga. And eighth place was Jennifer Hassan van Rosberg and Benjamin Steffen. And ninth place, oh my lord, was Emily Bratti and Ian Somerville. And then in 10th place was Leah Nassette and Autumn Makalov. I think, like, for Leah and Autumn, this is okay, because this is literally just them gaining experience and learning. This is not their quad. This is not their cycle. They're just coming out of junior. So I think everyone collectively expect them to just learn and grow from this experience. Poor Emily and Ian. This is what I say is the problem of reputation skating. Emily and Ian have had several issues in terms of their skating these last 2 seasons. And I think now the judges are penalizing them for their inconsistency. Because honestly, that short program, they did really good. The free program, they were also really good. But for some reason, the judges decided they were going to bury their behind like they've never been buried before. And I personally love the fact that Ian was fully facially vocal about it. He was like, "Oh, really? You burying my ass this deeply? That's amazing." And I also love that Emily was like, "Listen, we still need these judges. Stop talking." But that in itself shows how corrupt and toxic figure skating and the judging system are. You could tell in the kiss and cry, these skaters are not happy. They know they're being buried, but because they have other competitions coming, they can't even complain about the injustice that they're facing. And that's incredibly sad. That is incredibly sad for sport. Jennifer and Benjamin, they've always been a pair that really don't make much of an impression on me. I mean, they were fine. There was nothing wrong with them, but there is nothing that I really remember about them either. Marie-Jurde and Romain continue to make that case for themselves for that third Canadian spot. They have been very consistent this season, slowly building. I love their free program so much and in equal part hate their free program costume. It's such a hard, I almost wish they would just come out in their training outfit and do that program. It's such an issue. Hannah and Ye, that free dance is everything. Their connection, their emotion, they just give you everything in that program and then some. And I also really like their rhythm dance. One of the few rhythm dance I like, only because it's so 90s, it's so on theme, and they have so much energy to actually deliver the theme. Ekaterina and Daniel, I don't quite understand why they're getting also buried, because, well, actually I do understand why. They're from a small federation, they're a fairly new pair, and the judges want them to pay their dues because, skating, especially ice dance, is very seniority based. So yeah, you know what, their scores make perfect sense. Christina and Anthony, that rhythm dance was rough. It was shaky. I don't know what's going on with them, but I've literally seen them perform rhythm dances so steady, so incredible those last 2 years that I was not used to seeing them this shaky and just, yeah, it was just a very rough rhythm dance. To be honest, the whole theme of the rhythm dance, you guys know I personally hate it. But I just feel like they didn't have the energy, they didn't have the power, they didn't have the speed for the theme, and they just seem very tentative. I think the free program is much better. They cover so much ice. Their twizzles are so fast. Um, I'm not 100% sold on the program yet. I don't know what's missing. It's like you have a meal and it's delicious, but you just feel like if a tiny bit of salt or pepper was added, it would be perfect. That's how I'm feeling about this free program right now. And then Marjorie and Zachary, again, their rhythm dance, it's in line with everything else we've seen. The whole theme of the rhythm dance is shitty, and most of these programs are just 2 steps above shitty. And unfortunately, Marjorie and Zachary are right in the middle of all of that shittery caca. I don't love their rhythm dance. I don't hate their rhythm dance. It's just the standard of what the rhythm dance is. However, that free dance is a complete different story. I love that free dance when I first saw it, and I love it now. It's beautiful. You kind of pause in the moment and you simply enjoy this pair as they create these beautiful picturesque art on the ice, and it's exquisite to see, and it makes you feel something. It moves you. For me, the two pairs that really touched me and moved me at this event was definitely Hannah and Ye, and Marjorie and Zachary. Looking at their program, I didn't want to take my eyes off of it for a moment, and every second was just visually stunning. And that's what I want ice dance to do for me, to make me feel. So it was wonderful to see Marjorie and Zachary come back, especially after they made a mistake in their rhythm dance. So we haven't even seen this rhythm dance completely clean yet. So there is that to look forward to. So they managed to get the bronze medal here. Very happy for them. And then the silver medal here, Allison and Celise. I will be the first one to admit, when I first saw this program, when they were competing it early in the season, both of their program, I was like, I'm too sexy. Oh, good God. None of you guys are too sexy for nothing. But you know what? As the season has progressed, as Allison has begun to settled in, as Celise has begun to rip open his shirt and flashed us with his sexy man parts, perhaps they are too sexy. The program is growing on me. And then Chris sort of gave us a long explanation of the free program, which I guess, yes, I can see it. I understand the vision a little more. I get the concept. So yes, both of their program is growing on me. What I do love about the free dance is, as everyone has been saying, it's very sophisticated, it's very clean, it's very sleek. They're gaining speed as the season go by. They're very in tune with each other. They're a beautiful pair, and they look stunning next to each other. So yes, they're definitely growing on me, and rightfully so. They should be the number one after that free dance. And then the winner here, Piper and Paul. The rhythm dance, when it first started, I really liked it. And then they went into the I'm Too Sexy, and they lost me. And then the Too Sexy ended, and the other piece of music picked back up, and I was back in it. I think they should just chop out the I'm Too Sexy portion of it and place it with another piece of music, and I think they would have a really banging rhythm dance on their hand. The free dance, we were all collectively looking forward to this Vincent Van Gogh, and I think our expectation was so high, and that's why we feel so disappointed. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go watch an old video of them competing, the original program, so I can make a realistic comparison. But what I will say, yes, they did have that error in the lift, but that wasn't the issue for me. There was a magical aspect to this program when they first competed it. And I cannot say that I felt that same magic when I saw it being competed here. Now, to be fair, this is their first outing, but then again, that may be the issue. It's an Olympic year. You're repeating a program. Perhaps for all of these pairs, doing a couple of senior Bs might have been an intelligent move. Now you needed Skate Canada to boost your level up so that it could slowly come down at the other events and you could break even with your competitors. But unfortunately, you did not get that score boost that you were looking for in Skate Canada, because this is the first time we're seeing the program and the judges are now telling you they're underwhelmed. So now what do we do? But I'm in Puerto Rico. I don't have time for a deep rant. I will save that for the next video. Let me end with the women. So the women here, the winner here was Mona Sheba. In second place was Isabel Levito, followed by Amnina Kai, Brady Tennell. In fifth place was Lara Naki Goodman. In sixth place was Yuna Aoki. In seventh place, I'm going to talk about that, was Sarah Everhart. In eighth place was Maria Sanook. In ninth place was Madeline Skizas. In 10th place was Unsoon Yoon. In 11th was Sarah Mo Dupree. Aww. And then in 12th place was Yulia Sharayeva. Yulia didn't really leave much of an impression on me. I didn't have much of an impression on her going into this event, and I don't really have much of an impression of her after this event. She seems like a nice skater. Sarah Mode, I love that short program. She's giving us so much attitude, so much quirkiness, so much personality. And then I was hoping for that triple axel and it didn't go. And I think that just sort of like derailed her for the entirety of the long program. But she's got girthy jump potential all over her. So you know I'm going to keep praying for this young woman to get it together because, oh, we need the girthy jumpers. Ansu Yoon, again, another skater that doesn't really leave much of impression on me. Her programs are pretty generic, and she seems like she's got some nice jumps, but nothing much for me to write home about. Oh, Madeline. I don't know what's going to happen to the Canadian women because I don't see any single Canadian women, and we're not going to count Minso Kwan because she's not eligible to compete at the Olympics. I don't even think she has Canadian citizenship yet, so we're not going to count her. But out of the eligible Canadian women, I don't really see one that's really stepping out here and putting themselves as the front runner. I'm pretty sure they'll still send Madeline because she tends to deliver at an Olympic. But goodness gracious, this season has not gone her way. But again, it's pretty early in the season. Who knows what's going to happen later on? Maria, this is the Russian young lady who is representing Israel, who is coached by teamtutberidze. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. I'm very worried about her jump technique. And the fact that she's coached by teamtutberidze does not help my worries over her jump technique. I do feel like she's got a lot of personality, and I just hope that the jumps don't become a limitation for her. Poor Sarah Everhart was buried. I don't know how this child managed to piss off the technical callers, but the technical caller was calling everything but her hairdo. And I feel like if there was an option to call her hairdo, this man or woman probably would have. I get it. America is not backing Sarah Everhart, but do we need to bury her this badly? Every single jump was called. My goodness. And then, unfortunately, she didn't really help her case in the long program when she started off with a fall on the double axel, which is just such a fluke thing to happen to Sarah because she has really solid jump technique. I'm not crazy about her long program. I know it's about a movie, whatever. The packaging, yeah, the whole of it. I just really wish they would hire a specialist to really repackage Sarah and really make her a world Olympic US women's skater. Again, can we please get justice for Yuna? She skated that short program so amazingly. Yes, the jumps were a little bit wonky, but the energy that was given to Yuna was so negative, where there are other skaters who have way worse jumps that were not given this level of negativity. And for us to have Yuna's PC be what it is just tells us how much of a joke this entire sport is. I was so pissed off. Like, Yuna has managed to make me love La La Land again. Do you know how sick and disgusted I was by La La Land after 3 consecutive seasons of nothing but La La Land? I wanted to pull my hair out every time I heard the music scores. But Yuna is out here making me love La La Land again. And you guys have the audacity to give her those PCS scores? Shame on you. Shame on you. Then Lara Naki Goodman, third after the short program. And I wanted so desperately for Lara to be on the podium to get that medal. I love Lara Naki Goodman so much. She is everything that I love about longevity in skating. Her program composition is amazing. Her delivery and commitment to the program is amazing. I love both of her short and her long program. I love how uniquely suited to her they are. I'm pretty sure by now that she's going to get that spot for the Olympic. And I hope she has an incredible Olympic moment on home ice. Brady Tennell, another skater that has such an incredibly compelling story that she makes you want to root for her. Again, I don't see the Americans really getting behind Brady Tennell because the judges, the technical callers seem to like either be on her side or not on her side, and you never know which one you're going to get. What I will say is that I really do like this short program for Brady. I think it shows the softer, mature side of her, and I'm glad we got to see that throughout her journey. You could definitely tell that she's put a lot of effort, she's grown a lot, coming back from such a horrible injury. Way to go, Brady. Way to go. Amni Nakai. Unfortunately, the triple axel did not work in either the short or the long program. But still, that short program is so young, it's so fresh, it's so interesting. And then the long program is very lovely, very transition junior to senior program, lovely packaging. She just looks like very fresh, very young. She just made it to the Grand Prix final. So with a bronze and a gold medal, she should make it to the Grand Prix final. And now Japan National is gonna be even a worse bloodbath and a worse shit show than it was already pre-planned to be. I don't have enough candles for this nonsense. In second place here was Isabella Vito. The same thing always comes to mind when I think of Isabella Vito. For me, Isabella Vito could have easily been categorized as one of the best skaters of her generation. She's got that 1930s glam look to her. Her face is adorable. She makes beautiful, picturesque positions on the ice. She's so projective and emotive in terms of her program. She knows how to sell a program. She knows when to play with the audience, when to play with the judges. Like whatever she's selling, you want to buy. And then I think of why did they have to take such an exquisite skater and teach her such a horrible jump technique? It pisses me off so much because there is just so much that I love about Isabel, and I want to put her in my favorite skater category so badly. But every time that child comes to a complete stop and makes a 90-degree bow to the ice to do her jumps, I'm just like, yuck. Yuck. Ugh, it is what it is. And then the winner here, rightfully so, Mona Shiba. I am so amazed by the softness of her skating that managed to be so powerful at the same time. The ice coverage, the speed, the knee bend, her gliding across the ice like it's butter. Listen, I'm always one to say that the blades are thin, the ice is slippery, and anything that will happen in figure skating, anything that can happen will happen. But Monet is one of these skaters that makes me think the blade is thick. The ice is not slippery because she has such an ownership over her body when she skates. She does it so effortlessly, so elegantly. And yes, I know the long program is Romeo and Juliet, the warhorse of all warhorse, Romeo and Juliet, but it is Monet's Romeo and Juliet, and she is giving you so much facial emotion. She's giving you the entire story with her entire body, and every jump is interwoven into the program so that it is seamless. Every transition in and out of the program is on the music. It is just beautifully done for an overly used concept and piece of music that I find myself grateful. So this is my recap of the 2025 Skate Canada. I wanted to rant. I wanted to just go on a complete madness, but I'm in a hotel in Puerto Rico, so I cannot do that. But when I get back next week, we're gonna do that. But for now, you guys let me know in the comment. What did you guys think of Skate Canada?